Hi, welcome to Diamond Delight Edibles. My name is Liz, if this is the first time you're stopping by, and for the rest of you guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for your support. You guys are awesome. I'm almost at the 20,000. Can you believe it? I can't, but thank you guys so much. Can't do it without you guys. So today I'm going to show you how to make this oh so yummy streusel, cinnamon streusel coffee cake. Yes, so we got the crunchy top and the cake with a cinnamon swirl inside, and it's oh so yummy. So without further ado, let's jump right into those ingredients of what we need to get started, and you guys can be making one of these puppies just like that. Alright, so for our cinnamon streusel coffee cake, what we're going to need is 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of milk, 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Now what I've done is I've done half a cup of regular sugar and a 1/4 cup of Canna sugar. So if you've got Canna sugar, you can mix that however you like, as long as you have 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Now the same thing with your flour. You can, if you've got Canna flour, you can split that out however you like. And then we need 1 cup of butter. So again, I've used 3/4 of a cup of regular unsalted butter and a 1/4 cup of Canna butter. You're going to need a pinch of salt, which is approximately about 1/8 of a teaspoon. We're going to need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Now, make sure to check the expiry date on your baking powder. I did not know that it expires, and if it does, your cakes will be flat and heavy. So make sure to check the expiry date. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1 egg. And a tip for you, you want everything at room temperature. Your egg, your butter, and your milk, you want everything at room temperature. So I take everything out about a half an hour or so before, measure it up, so everything's at the same temp. Now, for our filling and for our streusel topping, you're going to need a half a cup of flour, a half a cup of packed brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of butter, unsalted butter, and again, if you want to use Canna butter, split that up with Canna butter, you absolutely can. And 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. And that's all we need for our ingredients. Now I'll get into our equipment and then we'll get this made. Alright, so for our equipment, you're going to need 2 bowls, 1 for your streusel filling and topping, and 1 for our cake mix. You can use a hand or a stand mixer, a flute pan, which is like a bundt pan, but it doesn't have all the squirrely things on the bottom. If you don't have a flute pan, you can use a square 8x8 or 9x9, not a problem. And cooking spray, a spatula, and that's about it. Not a whole lot for this. So we can jump right in and get started. So the first thing we want to do is to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. And we're going to start with our streusel topping and filling. So we're just going to add everything into the bowl. Our flour, our half a cup of packed brown sugar. I'm just going to kind of mix those two together. To break up the chunks of the brown sugar. I just usually end up using my hands. Going to add in our cinnamon. And our 1/4 cup of butter. And you want to make sure that it's soft. You don't want hard butter. And you're going to blend this together with the fork. And we want it to end up in like chunky forms. So you'll see when I'm done here. So I usually start mixing it, blending it with the fork, and then I just get my hands into it. Then I'm just kind of working the butter and everything through. And now something else you can add if you'd like. You can either add some chopped nuts, walnuts, or pecans, or you can add oatmeal. I've done the oatmeal, so you want to use the regular oatmeal, not the quick stuff. So now that we've got our filling made here, so you want it to, basically it's going to look like that. Hope you can see that okay. So we're just going to set that aside. And we're going to get started on the cake batter. All right, so the very first thing we're going to do is to cream our butter and our sugar together. In goes my regular butter, my half a cup of regular butter, quarter cup of canna butter. And our sugar, again, I used that quarter cup. Oh, sorry, it's a cup of butter. So I did 3/4 of a cup of regular butter and a quarter cup of the canna butter. I apologize. The sugar was 3/4, so I did half regular sugar and quarter canna sugar. So we're just going to cream that. So you just want to do it on low. We're going and just scrape down your sides and just give her a final little mix up. So it's got a teaspoon of vanilla. So you're going to continue to cream your butter and your sugar until it's nice and light and fluffy. And next we're going to add in our egg. Cream that together. And again, you want to make sure to mix that until the egg is well incorporated and it's all, again, nice and light and fluffy. Let's clean up our blades. What you can do is you just put them on high speed and it just whips most of it off. Okay, so next, what I like to do is to mix my flour, my salt, and my baking powder together, whisk them together to make sure that they get thoroughly mixed. So that, yeah, nothing gets clumped together. So I'll pour in my flour, and we need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You want to make sure they're level. Technically, I should use a knife or a flat, but so I put in my salt and my baking powder, and I'm just going to whisk those together. Okay, so next we are going to add in our flour. And we're just going to add in a bit at a time and get that mixed in. As you do about half. And now we're going to mix in about half of our milk. Now it's important to mix it in the way that I'm doing it, because if you add your milk to the butter and the sugar and the egg, it's all just going to kind of almost curdle and all separate, and it doesn't come back together. So you want to do this mix, this part and part, the flour and then your milk. Blech. Multitasking, not my strong point some days. And I'll just add in the rest of my milk here. So you're going to continue mixing until it is all well mixed, and it is a very thick cake batter. So if it's thick and you're worried, it is supposed to be thick, because if you know coffee cakes are dense. They're a little dense, so they're not that light and fluffy. But this is going to be super good, super moist, and super yummy. All right, so now we get our flute pan or your square pan if you don't have one of these. Give it a good generous spray of cooking spray. Make sure it's all over, and all over the little fluty thing too. All right, so now we pour half of our cake batter into our pan. You're just going to even that out. And then you are going to take a generous sprinkling of your filling, your cinnamon filling, and go all the way around the middle here. So just about like that. And then you're going to add the remainder of your cake batter. And again, you want to even that out. Try my offset here. So you don't want to press down, you just want to even it out. And then with the remainder of your topping, sprinkle all over the top. And if you have too much, you don't have to use it all. If you get a nice coating and you're good. So like that. Make sure to clean off if you're using one of these, clean off the cone. And now we're going to pop this into the oven on the middle rack, 350 for 45 to 50 minutes until nicely golden brown, and we can put a toothpick into the center and nothing comes out. And if you're always wondering why everything seems to go on the middle rack, is so that you're not so close to the heat and the bottom doesn't get burnt while the middle and the upper don't get properly cooked. So that's why it's always recommended for baking to put everything on the middle rack. All right, so we're going to come back in about 45-50 minutes and check out our coffee cake. Okay, so I think my cake is ready. Time to come out. Ooh, check that out. And I'm just going to get one of my little bamboo sticks here. And comes out clean. So she is good to go. So you just want to gently loosen the sides. Don't go all the way down, just at the top here. And then we're going to let this cool before we turn it out. And you also want to do that around the flute as well. So we're going to let this cool for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we're going to turn her out and give her a try. Here's a tip for you. You can use any long neck bottle, wine bottle, and kind of liquor bottle, or long neck bottle. Put your cake, if you're using the flute pan, place it on top. This way it'll allow the bottom to cool with nothing pressing on it, and this way it'll help for the bottom to release nice and easily. Time to unmask this puppy. So first you want to make sure to go around the edges with a straight edge knife and make sure nothing's stuck. And around the flute as well. And we are going to take our plate and our cake, flip her over, and ta-da, look at that. And then, let's grab a second plate. And just flip her over. Voila. And there you have it. Doesn't that look awesome? So let's cut into this puppy and see what she tastes like. All right, let's check this puppy out. Oh, the top's so crumbly. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Got the little cinnamon swirl in there. Crumbly top. Let's give this a taste. Oh, that's so good. It's so light and so fluffy. And the top, that crunch, it's just amazing. So guys, I really hope you guys give this recipe a try. You will not be disappointed. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, I always love to hear from you. And there's going to be, now that it's October, coming into the holidays, look forward to a bunch of pumpkin stuff. I'm going to do a pumpkin pie. We'll do some pumpkin, probably a pumpkin coffee cake, maybe some pumpkin cookies, maybe cheesecake. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. All right. So I do hope you subscribe and look forward to the rest of these recipes coming. And thank you so much for joining. You have an awesome rest of your day.